Goodbye Piemonte Calcio, welcome back Juventus. The Italian Giants are returning in FIFA 23 at a time when they're in the midst of a rebuilding phase. After 17 seasons with Juventus, club captain Giorgio Chiellini has left to join LAFC in MLS, with Paulo Dybala leaving on a free transfer to join fellow Serie A side Roma. And in one of the top deals of the summer, Matthijs de Ligt has left for the Bundesliga to join FC Bayern. That's not to say the club hasn't had some high-profile arrivals. Paul Pogba returning back to Juventus after 6 years with Manchester United. And it's Angel Di Maria with his 5-star skills also joining on a free transfer from PSG. Statistically speaking, Gelson Bremer was the best center back in Serie A last year. The fact that Juventus were able to pull off this transfer before other clubs like Inter were able to finalize the deal speaks a lot for their title ambitions. While we're on that topic, Juventus have largely dominated Italian football over the last decade, falling just one Scudetto short of 10 straight league titles. We'll be trying to restore that form after Inter and AC Milan have claimed titles the last 2 seasons. And in Champions League, Juve have won the competition as recently as the 95-96 season. However, they've reached the final 5 times since then and have lost each time. We placed them in the same Champions League group as last year. The only change is that I've swapped in Frankfurt as last season's Europa League winners. We are still going to have some funds to work with in this rebuild, and for my preferred signings, I think Juventus definitely need to add a left-footed center back. I'm going to outline 3 different options, starting with Pau Torres. This is the most expensive one, and I think it's unlikely that Juve are going to complete this move, especially because they just signed Bremer for a pretty high transfer fee. Gabriel is another option, a high potential player, but he seems set on staying at Arsenal as he's a big fan of Mikel Arteta and his future plans for the club. My top pick is Evan Ndika. This player is one of many Frankfurt talents that is rumored to leave the club after their fantastic Europa League campaign last year. However, he has been on my radar for a while. He won the Bundesliga Rookie of the Year award in 2019, and he continues to put up consistent statistics. A player with great potential, but most importantly, he has that experience across all competitions, which is crucial for us. It's not uncommon for Juve to sign some of the top performing players in Serie A, and it's going to be no different for Nicolo Zaniolo. The Roma player is also rumored to leave the club, the fee being around 50 to 60 million. He grew up as a Juve fan, and I think the quality that he adds to this squad is his versatility. We've got to remember that Chiesa, who is a star in his own right, is going to miss the rest of 2022 with an injury, so we're going to need options in the attacking department, ultimately finalizing a 65 million deal to see his transfer from Rome. It's almost double his evaluation, but I know this player will be worth it. And as far as where he'll feature, we're going to settle on a right winger development plan that'll allow Angel Di Maria to temporarily play on the left side. Somewhat of a controversial take here, signing a player from a rival club to Juventus. Torino is located in the same area. However, Andrea Belotti had his contract coming to an end. He's now available as a free agent. He's a proven Serie A goal scorer, and we need squad depth at the striker position. Vlahovic is not known to play a full 90 minutes, and especially once we get into other competitions like Champions League and the Coppa Italia, we need to make sure we have cover in that area. Not only that, he has a couple of ties to Juventus, sharing a friendship with Bonucci during his time at the Italian national team. This final transfer was somewhat unexpected. I wasn't too keen on the swap deal, including Idrissa Gaya. However, there is another PSG midfielder that is linked with a transfer to Juventus. That player being Leandro Paredes. We're in need of a regista, someone that can link up the attack between our defense and our midfield. Although he won't be starting for us, he's an experienced player that can contribute a lot to our Champions League and Serie A hopes. I wouldn't say that Juve is particularly known for their youth academy. Moreover, they're better at scouting out young talents from within Serie A, going on to sign them for a relatively low transfer sum, and then those players spending numerous years with Juve. Regardless, we've got a 4-star scout available to us. He'll be spending this first season in Italy for 9 months looking for any type of player. I would like our homegrown talent to play a role in this rebuild, and Dennis Battaglia is a 73 rated left midfielder, 17 years old with potential of 82 to 94. He would probably be just fine at a number of different positions, but I'll be sticking with the left winger development plan, and we'll check on his progress in January. But for now, we begin our season in the Italian Super Super Cup. This is a competition that Juve lost last season against Inter. This is going to be our starting 11, still using a 4-3-3 formation, which is slightly new. Traditionally, you've seen this side feature a 4-4-2 with 2 strikers, and I'm pretty happy that we can experiment with different competitions before the league and Champions League kicks off. We do go on to lose the Super Cup 5-4 on penalty kicks, so a valiant effort, but now we can begin our Serie A campaign. We're aiming to win the lot with Allegri. Expectations are high from the Juve board. We don't have as much leeway as we normally do in these rebuilds. Hopefully our results in January can back us up. As things stand, we are second place in the league, 3 points behind Inter, so anything could happen in the second half of the season. Also, managing to finish second in our Champions League group. It was competitive, but with 3 wins, 2 draws, and a single loss, we did just enough. Some decent growth in our player ratings, but most importantly, we do have Chiesa fully back and available. I tried to give him limited appearances in the first half of the season to reflect some realism. We will already have a departure, though, with Moise Kean returning to Everton as they try to survive in the Premier League. But to make up for that, we will be promoting Battaglia from the Youth Academy. He's up to a 75 rating. No plans to loan him out yet. However, I will be trying to loan out some of our other talents like Longo, this 17-year-old goalkeeper with good potential. And I think it's a good thing we promoted those Youth Academy talents because now we have cover on the left side, the right side, and down the center of our attack. Starting our Champions League knockout stage action against Borussia Dortmund. A 2-2 draw in the first leg. We conceded 2 unanswered goals, but we make up for that in the second leg. Jude Bellingham scoring a 90th minute goal that was never going to change the tide of this result. Getting into the quarterfinals against another Bundesliga opponent with FC Bayern. It's a rematch against a player that just left the club, Matthijs de Ligt, up to an 86 overall. But it's another one of Bayern's defenders, Hernandez, who scores the only goal of the first leg. We will bring things to penalty kicks, but it seems like we need to work on this area as we lose another shootout 4-3. And that kind of summed up this first season. We fell just a little bit short in the league. 3 points shy of Inter, so that remained consistent from January. This is the one time I'll show the bottom half of the Serie A standings just because there's no promotion and relegation, so it's kind of pointless. And a relatively early exit in the Coppa Italia, only making it to the round of 16, losing out to Napoli on penalties, with Inter having a very successful season, defeating Atalanta in the final. Our exit in the quarterfinals ended up having significance for Champions League because it was Bayern that defeated Inter in the final 2-1. So despite coming close, no trophies for us in this first season. That's something we will need to improve upon if we want to find success. Barcelona winning the Europa League against Villarreal, and PSV defeating Rayo Vallecano in the Conference League final. One area where we didn't have any problems was goal scoring. Dusan Vlahovic, 25 goals across 50 appearances, a goal from every other match. And Pogba in his first season managed 13 assists from 50 appearances. Di Maria right behind him, so 2 of our new signings putting up very good numbers. We'll check in on Battaglia. He ended up going +5 over the course of the season. Very consistent with homegrown talent growth. With 2 final promotions from our youth academy, we've got another Longo. This guy is a right winger, 64 rated, 84 to 94 potential, and a center midfielder with Santoro, 61 rated with 76 to 92 potential. Had we not checked off 1 or 2 of these objectives, we likely would have been sacked. Hopefully, Season 2 goes a lot better for us. If you're enjoying the Juventus rebuild so far, consider subscribing. I'm doing a new rebuild just about every week, so you can expect a lot more content like this. But this second season is all about signing more talent that can give us success, not only in Italy, but as we strive to win Champions League. I would say that's almost an even bigger priority for us with Juventus, as our group this season will consist of Borussia Dortmund, Porto, and Rangers. We've also seen a rise to our transfer budget, just over 200 million to work with. We are going to see a few departures though, starting with Alexandro. It's very likely that he'll be leaving Juventus upon the expiration of his contract at the end of the 22-23 season. We'll be making that happen right away with Premier League interest from Spurs. Conte, a former Juventus boss, picking up one of our players for 27.5 million. I was also open to whatever offers we received, and Real Madrid coming in with a bid for Zakaria. He never quite fit into my plans, as I was trying to feature him as a right center mid. It took too long for the development plan to make that happen, so we'll take the 50 million and check back on Zakaria at a later point in time. Rabiot is another player that may or may not be part of Juve's plans in the future. I thought it was interesting that his former club PSG put in a 40 million bid that we went on to accept. De Siglio going to Premier League side West Ham as he signs for 13.5 million. Now, I've expressed interest in signing world-class players while still trying to keep things realistic. And as far as left back options go, I don't think there is a better player than Jose Gaya. He's a long-time Valencia talent, came up through their youth academy, and he's practically rumored to go to another club every single transfer window. But he continues to stay in Spain. But given Valencia's recent financial troubles, I think they'd be open to a bid for this player. With his contract expiring at season's end, we managed to pick him up for 52.5 million, which was considerably less than his current evaluation. On the opposite side, I was looking at right backs that are linked with the move away from their clubs, but it seems like career mode reflected that, with Ricardo Pereira going to Barcelona in this save, Benjamin Pavard transferring to Liverpool. What Serginho Dest might lack in his overall rating, he makes up for in potential and has a couple of storylines with Juventus. We already have an American player at the club with Weston McKennie. The fact that Dest is also a former Ajax talent, I think also ties in with our plans for this rebuild. So hopefully he can learn a thing or two from our current right backs like Cuadrado and go on to be a legend here at Juventus, as he completes the signing for just 25 million, slightly above his evaluation of 21 million. And I think that overall rating will likely get an increase as we shift him over to a right wing back role. With the departure of Zakaria, I felt like we had to make a big name signing, and Renato Sanchez has rumors of joining AC Milan, but it seems like they're dragging their feet when it comes to moves in the summer. The Charles de Ketelaere deal is still not complete at the time of me recording this, so maybe Juventus can come in and swoop another transfer away from rival clubs. It took a long time for me to complete this signing as he was such an important player for Lille, but we managed to finalize it for 75 million. A career mode legend since FIFA 17, and we've now got our world-class box-to-box midfielder. I think we made a statement with the signings that we completed this summer. Hopefully we can translate that to success in Serie A. This will be our starting 11, no changes to the formation, just improvements across the board. And we'll check on results in January. The only thing I could say to explain our current league standing is that we've made too many changes to our starting 11. However, we did do quite well in Champions League. I think our group was relatively easy compared to last year. Either that or the points distribution was more balanced, so we didn't need to accumulate as many points to top the group. But over the course of the season, Dest has seen a +2 in his rating, taking over the right wing back spot from Cuadrado. That means Chesney will now be our captain moving forward. And a couple of winter changes as Angel Di Maria had his contract expiring. He's declining pretty quickly, so we'll let him join a Serie A club in Lazio, with Daniel Rugani no longer needed for squad depth, joining Monaco at the start of season 3. But I did manage to find a really talented goalkeeper. Obviously, this is a great storyline with Juventus. Gianluigi Buffon, one of, if not the best goalkeeper of the 21st century, spending the large majority of his career at Juve. But we can't focus too much on the future. We need to pick up current results, as our Champions League campaign in the knockout stages will start with a setback. Zaniolo suffering a 3-month broken toe injury, so he will not be available in the round of 16 against RB Leipzig. With that said, we still manage a 3-0 result away from home, a 2-0 win in the second leg, and now we're through to the quarterfinals against Manchester City. It's 1-1 in our home fixture, Vlahovic scoring an early goal. But when it comes to away matches and these extra time fixtures, we seem to fall just a little bit short as we lose out 2-1 on aggregate. As our second season approaches its end, we have a cup final. It's the Coppa Italia against Napoli. But what I think is even more interesting is this potential title race. We have 5 teams that are in contention of winning the Scudetto. As we get into these gameplay highlights, I was very excited to feature some footage with Juventus. I think they're going to be a very popular team to rebuild in FIFA 23. The fact that they've got their real name, their badge, and the stadium available once again always is going to add to the realism and the longevity of a career mode save. And they're just a fun team to manage, especially if you like managing some of the more higher profile and top teams. But as far as this fixture goes, we ended up making things 2 in the first half, getting another opportunity in the 50th minute. Shortly after the halftime break, it's Vlahovic to get his brace, 3 for us on the day. And you guys know how I feel about Dusan Vlahovic. When I did a Fiorentina save last year, he put up great goals. And since joining Juventus, it seems like he's not slowing down at all. One of my favorite strikers in career mode. But that is going to be our first trophy so far in the rebuild, a very much needed one if we want to keep our job with Juve. We very nearly got the double. Some interesting results on the final match day saw us finish third and just a single point short of Milan, who went from third to first over the course of a single match. It's unfortunate that we saw an X in the quarterfinals of Champions League, as I think we could have stacked up well against some of these opponents. Liverpool defeating Atletico Madrid in the Champions League final, Sevilla to defeat Leicester City in the Europa League, and it's Aston Villa defeating Hoffenheim in the Conference League final. Vlahovic was even better in Season 2, 35 goals across 51 appearances. And that ended up being enough to be the top goal scorer in Serie A this time around. Pogba with 17 assists from 48. That gave him the most assists in the league. I think the only area we fell short was defensively for clean sheets, so maybe we look to improve in Season 3. And our manager rating still in the red, but we've seen an increase from last year. But I think it's all or nothing when it comes to winning a Scudetto or Champions League in Season 3. I think luck or lack thereof partly explains why Juve have been unable to win Champions League after reaching the final 5 consecutive times. Maybe we'll get a little bit of luck in this rebuild as we review board expectations. We're looking to sign one young player, and I'm going to try to tie that in with some defensive improvements. Expectations domestically to win the Coppa Italia, win the Scudetto, and win Champions League. Our group this year will consist of Real Sociedad, Stade Rennais, and KV Mechelen. I think this is our easiest Champions League group to date, so no excuses this time around, especially when we have 322 million to work with in the transfer budget. Now, for young defenders, I wanted to sign a Brazilian player as it's the top foreign nationality with Juventus. Obviously, with the lack of licenses for the Brazilian league, there's a limited number of options, but Thiago Silva did have his regen available, and while he was in AC Milan, among other club players, I really like the idea of completing this signing. Maybe we have the next Brazilian wonder kid available to us. The next signing will be Gianluca Scamacca, who, as I'm recording this, has just recently completed his move to West Ham United. Really like that transfer, by the way, as West Ham have needed a striker for a number of years. But there were a lot of links with him joining Juventus as well. He's going to give us another striker option alongside Belotti, more of a target man player, and 55 million for the move. Obviously, we have an excess of funds available, so we don't need to worry about that aspect of this transfer too much. And a transfer going out as well with Danilo joining Arsenal for a 25 million fee. He wanted first team action. He just wasn't going to get that with us at Juve. But we'll again see our season starts in the Italian Super Cup, this time against Milan, who won the league. But this will be our starting 11. I've decided to give Enriquez the nod to start at right center back over Bremer, as he's going to have more potential, and really the only way to see these players get growth is to give them play time. The Super Cup will be a great opportunity to give him some minutes, and we finally win on penalties, this time 2-1, with Zaniolo scoring the crucial winner. That's another trophy checked off in this rebuild. Seems like ever since we gave the captain's armband to Chesney, we've had more luck in finals. But we're moving all the way forward to January, seeing how results have gone. And similar to last year, we are below expectations for the league. 6th place and a whole 9 points behind Napoli, who also have a match in hand. As for Champions League, no surprises, 12 points from 6 matches played. And it's important that we finish top of our group, as we'll get easier fixtures in the knockout stages. Slightly disappointed not to see Enriquez end up growing in his overall, but the rest of the squad is doing exceptional. So I think we can make up for that. We will see one departure though, with Paredes joining Leicester City. He requested a transfer, not much I could have done about that, so I figured just move him out of the team for squad morale. That will allow a promising player in Rovella to play more of a substitute role moving forward. But we'll start our round of 16 in the Champions League against RB Leipzig, who last time we faced them, we won 5-0 in aggregate. It was much closer this time around, 2-2 in the first leg, but a 2-0 win for us in the second fixture. That means we'll face Real Madrid in the quarterfinals, and it was a huge scoreline in the first leg, just dominating across all statistics, 4-0 away from home. Madrid get the better of us in the second leg, but there was no way they were going to come back on aggregate. That means we'll face PSG in the semifinals of Champions League. We are matching up against a former player with Artur. He hasn't ended up growing too much in his overall, and I'm wondering if he's lacking game time at PSG, but we end up winning 1-0 in the first leg, 4-1 in the second leg. Some huge late goals from the legs of Pogba, Vlahovic, and Zaniolo. That means that Juve is back in the Champions League final. Hopefully, 6th time is the charm as we look to win this competition. As this will be the final match of the season, I wanted to review results, and to my surprise, we won the league by 11 points. I believe we went undefeated since January, making up a lot of ground on Napoli. So we're back to seeing Juve win the Scudetto, and that's going to give us a lot of momentum moving forward to this Champions League final. What a season this could be, especially because we started the campaign with a victory in the Supercoppa. We will fall short in the Coppa Italia this time though, as Inter defeat us in the quarterfinals on penalties, which seems to be our kryptonite, but Milan will beat Roma in the final of this competition. The Europa League final going to Liverpool against Benfica, and Hoffenheim seeing a victory in the Conference League final against Valencia. Checking back on former players, you love to see that Gianluigi Buffon is still going strong in career mode. He's not even retiring at the end of season 3, 46 years old and 80 overall. We also found Chiellini's regen, who is still in MLS at Austin FC, one of the newly added teams to career mode. Dybala now 30 years old and still at Roma, 87 overall for him. Zakaria, not too many changes to his rating, 84 overall at Real Madrid. And finally, Rabiot, unsurprisingly, no changes as he stays at PSG. But a big picture ahead, Juventus trying to return as Champions League winners, Atletico Madrid trying to win this competition for the first time. Well, it certainly didn't take us too long to get the first highlight of this match. 30 minutes in, and Vlahovic ends up playing through Chiesa. We were going with high pressing play style, trying to keep Atletico Madrid in their final third, and that paid off as Chiesa opens up the scoring. Probably my favorite Italian player right now, and also a crucial player for Juventus's future. His ability to dribble by defenders and also feature on both the right and the left side is just so good. And he ends up setting up the second chance as well, giving Vlahovic an opportunity in front of goal. It is our homegrown talent, though, Battaglia, that scores from an improbable angle to double our lead. We're still before the halftime break as Vlahovic gets played through. He gets just enough of that ball to get it by Oblak, and that will give us a 3-0 lead going into the dressing room. So we're in the driver's seat. We basically just need to sit back and hold on to our 3-goal cushion. We'll give one up in the 58th minute, but I don't think that's going to be making too much of a difference on this match, as Atletico Madrid just failed to get into our final third, not testing Chesney too many times, as he will lift another trophy in this rebuild. A longtime player at Juventus, and honestly deserving of the captain's armband. Really excited for what the future celebrations will look like in Turin as we bring this trophy back home to Italy. I wasn't sure it was possible, but Vlahovic continued to improve year after year. 38 goals this time across 52 appearances, with Pogba again leading the club in the assist category. It took a while for us to get going in this rebuild, but once we figured things out, we certainly accomplished a lot. Hope y'all did enjoy this Juve rebuild, and of course, if you want to see more of this style of content, make sure to let me know in the comment section with what other clubs you want me to rebuild next. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, but until next time, this has been Flick. I'll be talking to y'all again soon.